Let me start this off by saying that the critics are absolutely wrong about Godzilla King of the Monsters. Sorta. Directed and written by Michael Dougherty and co-written with Zach Shields and Max Bornstein, Godzilla King of the Monsters is the 35th film of the Godzilla franchise, sequel to Godzilla 2014, and the third film of Warner Bros. Monsterverse. King of the Monsters follows Godzilla as he does battle with his classic enemies, and some human stuff along the way. By now, you've probably seen this movie's Rotten Tomatoes score and what critics have had to say about this film, and let me be one of many people to say that critics are dead wrong about this movie. Well, they're right about some things, but we'll get to that. Many people have gone off record and say they're only watching this movie for the monster action, and the million-dollar question is, does this action deliver? Absolutely! This movie is a Godzilla fan wet dream with some of the best looking kaiju scenes in the whole Monsterverse. Almost every shot with the kaiju looks like some poster on one of my wall, with beautifully faithful adaptations of Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. While some monsters have less screen time than others, the four main kaiju all get a standout moment, and fans of all four will be pleasantly surprised. This movie's art direction was top-notch, making it arguably one of the best-looking films I've seen all year, with the monster scenes reminding me heavily of 18th century paintings. This movie's soundtrack is outstanding, with composer Bear McCreary outdoing himself yet again, with the standouts being the jaw-dropping renditions of Godzilla and Mothra's themes. There's been a lot of criticism about the human characters and how uninteresting they are, and, well, if I'm being honest, they're kinda right. Sorta. Okay, let me explain. The movie spends most of its time focusing on three human characters, played by Vera Farmiga, Kyle Chandler, and Millie Bobby Brown. While the actors do a good job with an admittedly mediocre script, their characters are very stock and none too different from what we've seen in other films. And with the exception of a really good scene with the ever so talented Ken Watanabe, this movie's other human characters don't really do much. This movie suffers from having way too many characters that they put no stock into. You have Thomas Middleditch, who is semi-important in the first act, but is just in the background for the rest of the movie, and Zhang Ziyi, who plays two characters in homage to Mothra's twin fairies of the old films, but in both, she's just kinda there with not much to do. You have these characters and several others that do little to nothing and serve no purpose to the film's narrative. Originally, I compared Godzilla King of the Monsters to The Last Jedi, but upon further thought, if I'm going to compare this to anything, I'll compare it to the 2017 Power Rangers movie. The 2017 Power Rangers film was a movie that was more for the fans and not really for the casual audience. And much like the Power Rangers movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters is a film that's more or less for the fans. And while that's not a bad thing, the general audience still might not get the appeal of a Godzilla movie. Overall, while an arguably mixed bag, Godzilla King of the Monsters is decidedly a film whose positives outweigh the negatives, that is a treat for Godzilla fans and fun to watch for the casual viewer, who gives it a chance. I'm gonna give Godzilla King of the Monsters a B-.